working to keep alive a legacy of those before us, through the groups we join and expectations we want to rise above, made possible by those who executed a vision. So let's keep the dream alive and continue to rise from our roots.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Rising from Our Roots. I'm your host, Amber Draper, and today we look at an organization that has brought awareness to social justice, but has also sparked much needed conversation regarding race and equality, the Association of Black Collegians. The Association of Black Collegians is an active organization on Truman State University's campus, but it is also an organization that is at hundreds of universities and colleges across the United States. Collectively, they promote unity and maintaining multiculturalism on college campuses. So first, let's take a look back at how it all started.
Interest in Black American heritage and interest in Black Americans today. That was the first and only requirement for joining the Association of Black Collegians when it was officially brought forth on Truman's campus in 1969. The organization's first president, Alphonso Jackson, formed the organization so issues regarding race could be respected and heard. Former President Alphonso Jackson was also heavily involved in the civil rights movement and walked with Dr. King from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, which is also known as Bloody Sunday. Since the foundation of the organization on Truman's campus, members have put on events pertaining to academic excellence, social justice, and even Black fashion. I had the chance to speak with the current president of Association of Black Collegians, Jasmine Perry.
Well, hi, Jasmine.
Hey, Amber.
Well, first, thank you so much for coming on the show with me. And so we're here to talk about the Association of Black Collegians. So I know that you were a member of this organization last year, and this year you are actually the president. So what made you decide that you wanted to take on this leadership position?
Well, being a member last year, I loved how I got to meet new people and basically see what ABC was all about. And so becoming president, I felt that I could bring new ideas and make ABC present on Truman's campus so people know that, yes, we are out here, and this is also an organization that you can learn of African American culture.
Okay. So I know throughout the year you guys host different events, and you guys have done different things like Meet the Greeks, What's the Word, and even a fashion show that was called Fashion Through the Decades. So could you just give a brief description of each of those events that you guys had and essentially like what it all entailed?
Okay, so with Meet the Greeks, we basically showcased the African American Greeks, which were called the Divine Nine, and it was open to anybody to come and learn about what the African American Greeks stand for, who they are, and if they had any questions about anything of their organization, they could come learn and get their questions answered. With the What's the Word, that was about basically an open forum of what's going on in social media and like how it affected college students and everything. And we talked about the political campaign, relationships, and like schoolwork and type, and anything that is stressful to college students. And it was just open for any topics we wanted to talk about. And then with the fashion show, it was just kind of a fun thing to do at the end of the year. So it's open to anybody to model whatever they wanted to do depending on the theme, and they could be creative, and it's just kind of a fun thing for everybody to come see their friends and do like a little routine they want to do. This year we did Fashion Through the Decade, so it's kind of fun to see what the models could come up with each decade. And I think the most fun they had was with the 90s and 2000s, since we were born in that era. So it was a little fun thing we could do.
And I know specifically with the event, What's the Word, sometimes the discussions that are brought up have to do with things that people aren't necessarily the most comfortable talking with all the time, whether it has to do with race or with politics. So why do you think it's important to have those conversations regardless of how uncomfortable it might make people feel?
I feel like it would give people another aspect of knowing like how other people think, coming from different backgrounds, and how they perceive the world in what like race and discrimination and things of that nature. And I feel like being on a college campus, we need to have those open discussions so that we won't live in a society where it's like, well, I can't speak about this because this person might feel offended. And I feel like we just need to have a clear, open mind of, okay, this person is coming from this side. Well, let me tell them how I think, so we can just come to a happy medium and we won't live in like a tense society where it's like I can't have to keep my mouth shut because somebody might get offended.
And I know when the Association of Black Collegians was first brought onto Truman's campus, it kind of showcased Black heritage and in the African American community. So how can people who are outside of that race kind of have interest in the organization?
Really, it's about if you really want to know African American culture. So you don't have to be African American to join. We welcome anybody to the organization, even though it's Black in it. You don't have to be Black. It's basically like if you just want to come, learn, see what we do, see what we're about. We do cater to everybody on campus. That's with our fashion show because it's not just African American students who can do it. We welcome it to everybody. It's just basically if you just want to learn about it and come see what we want, if you have any questions about it, if you want to see something done on campus and just bring in new ideas to campus in a different light and see like, okay, we do have diversity on this campus because of this organization.
Have you ever had a personal experience that kind of put into perspective the necessity of kind of having these types of organizations on campus?
Yes, I have. I work at the Hy-Vee up here in Kirksville, also at home, but it's a different aspect between Kansas City and Kirksville because Kirksville is a smaller community. When I was working, because I'm a cashier up there, so I had a young girl stare at me because of my skin complexion. And at first I thought it was cute, but then she kept staring and pointing at me, so I was trying to figure out like why, and her mom was kind of scolding her because she was like, it's rude to point and everything. But I was just open, seeing like why is she staring at me like this? And basically her mom was telling me that they don't have anybody of my skin complexion at her school that she goes to, so she was never like brought to the fact that there are other people here that don't look like her. And I feel like starting with the young kids, we need to learn that there are other people in the world that don't look like them, and you're going to run into those people that speak a different language, have a different heritage than you. And I feel like once we get that through our young minds, then we can trickle it up to the teenagers and the older generation, so we can be more inclusive on there are other people in the world that aren't like me.
So other universities that also have this organization on campus, it's not uncommon for them to have 50 or 60 members on campus. So what have been some of these struggles of having not as many members as some other universities and colleges?
Some of the struggles are trying to get people to our events, and with the publicity thing, like yes, we do the posters, we have Facebook, Instagram and stuff, but it's just actually getting people out to the events and wanting to learn about, hey, we're doing this, or we're talking about this subject. And with other schools having more members, I feel like they have more leeway, and then definitely like you tell one person, they'll tell a couple of friends, and then they have a big turnout. So I feel like with Truman being a small school, I feel like we just have to work the extra mile to get people to come to our events and actually want to learn, because you can't really force people to come, so it's just kind of like a willing basis.
So have you ever partnered with any other organizations on campus or any other organizations that have the Association of Black Collegians at other universities?
On Truman's campus, we partnered with ROTC for like a Veterans Day thing. We've partnered with the Greeks here on Truman's campus, the NPHC Greeks, for Meet the Greeks and also some other homecoming events. We partnered with the Pan-Atlantic Council for the school's homecoming because we were on the team, and so we were working with them and getting our stuff together. And we worked with the Women's Resource Center for our ABC Week to bring feminine products to women who probably can't afford them. But outside of Truman, no, because we haven't dwelled in that aspect of collaboration yet, but hopefully we can in the coming years.
Okay. So are there any new events that you guys are kind of looking into on putting on next year?
A new event would be during Oktoberfest. It's like a fundraiser. It's kind of probably going to be a philanthropy fundraiser where students can come up, like pay $1 and pie the president of ABC and like our advisor and maybe the dean of the Multicultural Affairs Center. So that was like a little fun thing we were going to do. Also during homecoming, we have the Black Alumni Homecoming, so we're working with the MAC to get a dinner together, a little program for the Black alumni who've been in ABC before our time, and then also with the Greeks who are coming back to Truman to see how Truman has changed and see if the organization is still coming and who the new members are and how we're affecting Truman's campus and things like that. Also, we were just thinking about doing like a little Valentine's Day thing where if we have like roses and people can send a message and we will just deliver it to them on Valentine's Day. And then other things were just like see if we could go to other schools, see what they're doing, and see if we can bring it back to Truman's campus.
All right, so I know that the MAC is a sponsor of your organization. So over the years, how have they helped or sort of impacted your organization?
They provide us with a lot of resources for us to throw events on campus and also get the MAC's name out there. And with them being a backbone of ABC, because we do have to go through them, get stuff approved, they help us a lot with like our funding and bringing ideas for what we need to do on campus. Because Miss Carol, she always comes to me and says, "Hey, why did you guys do this?" And see, like it's like she brings a lot of new ideas. And then with Gerard being our advisor, he always is he's a big help with us too, because with him being new, he has new ideas that he can bring to us. And one idea that I really liked about him is he had the presentation of everybody wants to be a nigga but not a nigger, and so he approached that idea to me before we even set in stone what the bringing him to campus and everything, and I really liked it. And so that was like a good way to showcase people, saying, hey, this is here and this is where this word has originated from and this is how it has changed in society. And so Gerard is being a big help in saying like, hey, we should do this and we should bring this person to campus. And it's just a big, like, I don't know, like they love seeing students thrive and student organizations thrive and things like that. So the MAC has been a really good help, and they pretty much are the backbone of ABC.
What has been your favorite part about being a member of the organization?
Well, my favorite part is meeting new people and seeing all this big impact that we have on Truman's campus, because a lot of people say, oh, I really like that event, hopefully we bring it back. And it's great to see my members like happy and seeing like, oh man, I really like this, and for having like ABC's name out there, and we get to see we're more vocal and we're more present on Truman's campus. And I love seeing how it just changes Truman's campus, and it's not just a club down a back burner where, okay, they're always doing this, so we can expect that. It's just kind of unexpected when we just come up with something, and other clubs are like, oh, that is really neat. Can we do this with you in the coming years and stuff? So that's like my favorite part of it.
You were a member of this organization last year. You're the president now, and you're going to be the president next year. So how has it affected your life so far?
I feel like it has affected my life on a big impact in a positive way too, because from me being a member, I learned, it was actually my first club I have joined when I was here at Truman, and I learned a lot more than what I did know from my own aspect of African American culture. So I felt like me becoming president, I wanted to dwell more into that and put it more on Truman's campus. And also I learned more from my members, because some of them know more than me, and so they want to see more things like integration on Truman's campus and seeing more African American stuff and more diversity stuff on Truman's campus. So I feel like next year will be kind of the year where we'll do bigger, better things about getting our name out there, and also doing more fun activities and more collaborations with other student organizations on campus. So hopefully we will be out there and people know, oh yes, it's ABC, and yeah, they're easy to work with, their members are cool, and this is a fun organization to join.
Okay. Are there any improvements that you would like to implement into the organization next year when you're the president again?
Some improvements probably is probably getting more members to the organization, because I know we're a really small organization, but probably getting more members out here, and probably more integration events where we can see more diversity in our like fashion show, and also in some of the events, and also with the people coming to our events where we don't see the same faces as us. We see other people there and they feel comfortable and things of that nature.
How would you like to see the diversity at Truman kind of grow and develop in the coming years?
I would like to see the diversity in Truman grow and develop in a way where we can still have those open conversations about race, gender, and all that type of stuff. and not feel like, oh, this person is attacking me and I don't feel like comfortable in this position, and or I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because this person is here. And I feel like when we have to get over that hurdle when we go to our minority events, like that's not with just ABC, but with Halo and with ASA and also our Japanese and Chinese clubs. Like we just have to get over the hurdle of going to their events and seeing what they're doing, and also going to the majority events and seeing what they're doing. So when we do show up at a majority event, we're not looked at like, why are you here? It's just kind of like, oh, okay, we have more people here to watch our event. And it's just not a second thought because like, oh, well, they never come to our events. So that's how I want to see the diversity grow in Truman's campus.
So what does ABC personally mean to you?
Well, ABC means to me personally is basically a club that showcases African American culture, and we can bring that to Truman's campus. So I feel like me personally, like me being African American and me also being a female, like we can also do events that showcase that and like kind of the struggles that we face day to day, and also stuff that we have overcome in the challenges of the years from slavery to now, and then seeing like we have those open conversations on why people think this way about this specific race, and then also how can we change those ideals and move forward as we go through in a society.
And do you think that you're successfully completing the goals that you had in mind for the organization?
I think we are, because with the open talks of race and ethnicity, I feel like more people are more welcome to talk about that, because with more conversations of that, instead of just saying one night we're going to talk about this and then we're just going to leave it alone, more people are willing to, hey, let's just sit down and talk about this, or hey, I didn't really like the way you said that, can you say it a different way? And I feel like it has impacted Truman in a tremendous way, and so it was just good to see like, hey, we are making an impact on Truman's campus, so we're not just kind of like a back burner, like, oh. And then like we've also had clubs that some of my members are a part of, they're like, hey, they want to collab with you on a different event, and I'm like, hey, okay, that's fine too, like we can do it, just see like what we can come up with and things of that nature.
Right. All right, well, Jasmine, thank you so much for being willing to come on the show with me. I know that ABC, it's kind of hard to get that name out there when you don't have as many members as some of the other organizations on campus, but what I really like about your organization is that you still go out there, and despite kind of the difficulties of it, and you still bring up these conversations that people might not be comfortable with, but they're definitely still necessary to have. So it's a good thing that we're still able to talk about these things on Truman's campus. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Social justice and knowledge about issues pertaining to minorities is something that cannot be ignored, and organizations like the Association of Black Collegians help keep conversations and awareness about those topics alive. Silence does not make the issues go away, and ABC is one organization that helps keep students on college campuses conscious about the issues. I would also like to thank all of the organizations and all of the guests who agreed to go on this journey with me. Through every episode, I had the opportunity to learn something new, and it was very heartening to talk to people who were so passionate and so dedicated to what they were a part of. And I know that I personally gained a better appreciation for what they do, and so it definitely made the entire experience worthwhile. So as I sign off for the last time, never forget to keep your dreams alive by continuing to rise from your roots.